Buongiorno a tutti e bentrovati. Per chi non mi conosce, io mi chiamo Alessandra Caruso e sono una docente di lingua e cultura inglese in un liceo. Nei giorni scorsi molti di voi mi hanno scritto chiedendomi di realizzare un video in cui avrei mostrato nuovamente la lezione simulata che ho portato all'orale del concorso 2022, questa volta interamente in lingua inglese. Questo video nasce quindi da queste richieste, tuttavia ci tengo a sottolineare che il colloquio della prova orale deve essere molto spontaneo e naturale. Prima di iniziare vi chiedo anche la cortesia, qualora non siate già iscritti al mio canale, di iscrivervi e di cliccare sulla campanella per restare sempre aggiornati sui nuovi video. Cominciamo! Good morning everyone, my name is Alessandra Caruso and this is my topic, the other. First of all, I'm going to show you a quick overview of my lesson plan, starting with the school context and the class setting. Then we'll see the timing and environments of my lessons, the very important prerequisites, the general and specific aims, and the teaching strategies and materials, the inclusion strategies, and finally the lesson stages and the assessment of my lessons. Let's start with the context. We are in a secondary school in the 4th year of a liceo artistico, and my lessons are during the second term. My class is composed by 20 students, 8 boys and 12 girls. It's a mixed ability class from B1 to B2, and in my class I also have one gifted student. Just for convenience, I decided she's a girl, and she's got, among other things, a higher level of English. She is a B2 more or less, and a nice student, newly arrived in Italy from Ukraine. Just for convenience, I decided he's a boy. The Teachers' Council has just approved his PDP, and his CEFL level is lower than the average, is more or less an A2. But I'll talk about the students with special education needs in more details later. And now let's see the timing and the environments of my lessons. I prepared 3 lessons for an amount of 5 hours, plus the assessment needed time. The environments are the classroom, of course, the outdoor school space, and also the student's house because of the flipped classroom. Here there are the prerequisites of my lessons. First of all, being familiar with the historical context of the Romantic Age, and being familiar with the genre of novel, and being familiar again with the plot and the main themes of Frankenstein by Mary Shelley, being familiar with the plot and the main themes of The Strange Case of Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde by Robert Stevenson. And also being capable of analyzing a narrative text and formulating an opinion, and being capable of using some apps like Flipgrid, Quizzes, ISO Collective, Quizlet, Mentimeter, and Powtoon. It is very important to do a quick check of the prerequisites before starting a new topic. So that's why I picked some homework activities about, in this case, The Strange Case of Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde. So students are asked to watch this video at home as a homework activity, and then they will use quizzes in order to review the plot of Frankenstein by Mary Shelley. This is a funny way to review a topic, and while they have fun, they also learn, so it is a good thing. Now, as you can see, we have 2 options. The first one, and most desirable, student is ready for the new activity. But what happens if the student still needs a revision? he or she is invited to retrieve the missing contents. And how can he or she do this? In this case, teacher recommends watching another video about the topic. And if it isn't enough, the student can also use the help desk face-to-face or online. But now let's take a look at the general aims of my lessons. As you know, aims come accordingly, linee guida e indicazioni nazionali del secondo biennio, and also from the PECUP of Liceo Artistico. And aims come also accordingly the Common European Framework of Reference for Languages, the CEFR, and in this case for my lessons I picked some of them about reading comprehension, oral production and written production. But now let's see the specific aims in relation to this didactic pathway. As you know, they are divided in knowledge and skills. So let's see the knowledge. By the end of the lessons, students will know the main themes, keywords and feelings involved in the other topic, in some literature works, in art and in everyday life. And then the skills. By the end of the lessons, students will be better able to empathize with some historical famous people who dedicated their life to the other, to build their emotional intelligence and their critical thinking, and speak and debate about the topic, and also practice listening and writing skills. And now let's see the competencies that students can apply the notions acquired, so the knowledge and skills together, in an authentic task. The key competencies come from competenze chiave di cittadinanza and also from the key competencies for long life learning. But now let's go straight to the teaching strategies and activities. During the first lesson, which is a 1 hour lesson, I'm doing a circle time, an inductive learning activity, and also a 1-pager activity. During the second lesson, which is a 2 hours lesson, I'm doing a brainstorming, a listening activity, an hexagonal thinking activity, and also a web search. Between the second lesson and the last lesson, I'm going to do a flipped classroom. And finally, we have the authentic task, which I called In the Other Shoes. And it is a making of a video of a double interview in lezione style. And then we have the assessment. And these are the tools and materials involved in my lessons. We have the interactive digital whiteboard, the students' digital devices, and some apps like Flipgrid, Prezi, Quizlet, Quizzes, and some YouTube videos, electrostatic paper, some paper hexagons, and the one-pager template. And now let's take a look at the inclusion strategies. I strongly believe that no one student should be left behind. There should be a place for everyone in our schools. So, as I said before, my class is enriched by the presence of 2 students with special education needs. And I'm talking about a nice student, a boy newly arrived in Italy from Ukraine, who obviously doesn't speak Italian at all, and the Teachers' Council immediately prepared his PDP. But how can I include this student in my lessons? Firstly, when it's possible, collaborating with a cultural mediator. and also arranging translations and a picture dictionary of the key school information, and also of the activities of my lessons. And it is important allowing him to the use of the dictionary and giving him facilitating text and activities, providing examples of each type of exercise, and using a lot of cooperative work. And as I said before, in my class I also have a gifted student, a girl who has an above average IQ. As you know, gifted pupils have got a strong sense of curiosity and also a strong ability to comprehend material several grade levels above their age peers. So also the ability to absorb information quickly. Usually they are enthusiastic about learning, and they have a surprising emotional depth. Often they are very good leaders, and that's why I'm using this student in a strategic way when I set the groups for cooperative work activities. And accordingly to the PDP of this girl, I'm arranging enriching activities that she can carry out by herself at her desk. Because you know, gifted students are often fast finishers and they can get bored easily. And I will also provide her with reference material and home assignment of a higher difficulty. I will establish higher goals and stimulate individual research. And above all, I'm using flexibility in the teaching units. But here we are with lesson stages. I decided to design my lessons with a ESA patchwork framework, and starting with an engaged phase, which is a circle time. So a teacher asks students to sit in a circle, and sitting between them asks students some questions and invite students to answer these questions. And the questions are, who is the other? Have you ever felt like being the other? And if yes, why? And how did you feel? For the ESA study phase, I prepared an activity in inductive learning. Okay, the teacher provides students with some handsheets with two extracts from Frankenstein or the Modern Prometheus and The Strange Case of Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde. Students divided in groups of 4 have to read carefully the extracts in order to find themes, keywords, feelings, everything about the other theme. And after the first reading, they are invited to write on electrostatic paper, standing up in order to be more active. And once they finish, they are invited to discuss the results of their research. The gifted student and other fast finishers can do a comprehension activity on their worksheet, and the nice student can use his dictionary, and the teacher will also provide a summary of the 2 novels in Ukrainian language. Here there are the extracts of Frankenstein or the Modern Prometheus and The Strange Case of Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde. And here there is the fast finishers writing activity. There are just a few questions. Okay, they can answer and write the answers on their exercise book. So, for example, in your opinion, what's a monster? Would you judge someone just for his or her physical appearance or his or her diversity? And what makes the other different from you? And this is the plot and main themes of Frankenstein in Ukrainian language and Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde. Still in the study phase, teacher shows on the digital board some examples of one-pagers and asks students to be as creative as they can. So students have to decide which quotes or keywords to write and also which pictures to draw about the other in the two novels. And they are completely free of using internet to search for sample pictures, for example. And this is the personalization for the Ukrainian student. The teacher asks the Ukrainian students group to write at least one quote in Ukrainian language. So the nice student will teach them how to write it in the right way. I really like to close my lessons using some memes because students love them. And so in this case, I chose some memes about diversity and body shaming. Body shaming will be the topic of the second lesson. As homework, students have to do a reading provided by the teacher, and it is called The Other in Art. And they also have to watch a movie, which is the film Wonder, and write a short film review about it. This is the link to watch the movie. If the gifted student wishes, she can do an extra homework creating a concept map about the other theme using the app Prezi. And for the nice student, teacher will also provide with a link to a YouTube video about diversity in art. So here you can see the article, The Other in Art. And this is the movie review for the film Wonder. And now we are in the day 2 of the lesson stages. And in order to engage the students again, the teacher, using the app Mentimeter, does a quick brainstorming activity in order to bring out again students' ideas about the other in literature, in art, and also in their lives. What they have to do, they have to write some keywords and themes using this app, and the contents that students write in the app will appear on the digital board. And this is an example. What is the other? What does this concept inspire you? And these are some keywords like fear, equality, diversity, and so on. And now, in the study phase again, the students are doing a comprehension activity using ISL Collective. So teacher asks students to think back at the monster, at his aspect, and also how he felt about his appearance, and also how much he suffered because of it. And then the teacher makes a connection with the theme of body shaming. And then she shows on the digital board a YouTube video about body shaming, and the students watch it, and at the end of the video the teacher provides students with a link to do this listening and comprehension activity of the video, the same video, using ISL Collective, as I said before. For the activate phase of this lesson, I choose an activity that I really love a lot. It is called hexagonal thinking. How it works: teacher divides students in groups of 4 and provides them with some paper hexagons and a big sheet of paper. So students begin making connections of these hexagons, and they keep talking until they find the connections that stick, okay? And in order to discuss their ideas, they can use the text or also internet to find evidence, okay, of why they think their connections are the strong ones and the best ones. Here we have a picture of the hexagonal thinking activity. And now let's go again to another study phase, which is a web search. So teacher shows on the digital board some pictures of famous people who dedicated their lives to the other cause. And then teacher divides students in groups of 4 and asks to do a web search choosing one of these people. So once they finish, they are invited to present their search results in front of the whole class in order to have a quick conversation about them. And now, as I said before, between the second and the third lesson, I prepared a flipped classroom. So students at home watch a video using a Flipgrid. This video is recorded by the teacher and it is about the topic, okay? So students may reply to the video on Flipgrid, again, asking some questions to the teacher, and they can do also a video or just an audio in order to ask some questions. And this is the link of the flipped classroom. I really recorded this video. And finally, here there are the lesson stages of the day 3. As I said before, for this lesson I prepared an authentic task, and the subject involved are English and ICT, because students are making a double interview video in lezione style. They have to find and act some famous people from sports or public life or literature. They can choose, and these people must be icons of diversity in the other style. So their interviews must be focused on topic, putting in evidence their differences, their diversity, okay? And with the ICT teacher, they can edit the video using Powtoon. For my lessons, I decided to assess my students with a formative assessment and not a summative assessment. So for the one-pager activity in particular, students will do an assessment method which is called 2 stars and a wish. They will receive a feedback from other students using this method. They have to give 2 positive comments, the stars, and 1 constructive comment, the wish. So teacher provides, of course, some prompts such as what you did well was, what I've learned from your work about how to improve mine is, or what you could improve is, and so on. Here we have a rubric for the hexagonal thinking activity, and then we have a cooperative work assessment, which is a formative assessment, again for the cooperative work. It is very important that teacher can also assess herself. So here you can find a teacher's self-assessment. And here we have the references for my lessons. I'd like to close my lessons with a quote by Benjamin Franklin. Tell me and I forget. Teach me and I may remember. Involve me and I learn. Terminata la lezione, non mi resta che ringraziarvi per essere stati con me e qualora abbiate dei dubbi non esitate a scrivermi nei commenti. Vi auguro una buona giornata. A presto!